You're doing no different than what Muslims do when they grab the Bible, trying to find little parts and try to find contradictions because they don't believe in it. The whole deal is this. When it comes to the book of Enoch, if it is correct, then you have to change your doctrine. Okay? The same way a Muslim, if he realized the Bible is correct, he has to change his doctrine and renounce Islam. Okay? So that's what don't try to go into the book and find contradictions if you don't believe in it, because you're going to find contradictions. That's what you're looking for. Wisdom is known of her children. A man of wisdom or a woman of wisdom understand wisdom when they read it. Okay, with the proper perspective. All right. Now, I'm going to the book of Enoch real quick. Speaking of hell, the 54th chapter, 1 through 6.
Yes, sir. And I looked and turned to another part of the earth.
Now, for those who are fairly new and don't know who Enoch was a righteous judge before the flood. Okay. When you read Genesis 6, where the Most High say the sons of God came down and dealt with the daughters of men and brought forth giants or Nephilim during the days of Jared. Well, because of this, the Most High had to make Noah make the ark. There was a celestial, which is an angelic intervention with people that brought forth hybrids outside of the Most High's creation. That's where you get your dinosaurs and all these things. They began to mix birds with land creatures, amphibious creatures with beasts. All of that came from crossbreeding, cross-splicing before the flood. This was taught by fallen angels. Enoch was the righteous during that time. He was a priest of the Most High God before the flood. Okay? So, since this happened during his time or a little after his time, once the evil came to its height, the Most High translated Enoch. What does that mean? He did not see death. The same way what? Elijah, the prophet, was translated, where he was taken directly into heaven without seeing death so that he could be utilized for a specific purpose. Okay? The whole point of it was to do what? To have Enoch, being a righteous judge, to come down and speak to those angels who came down on Mount Hermon and give them the judgment. Okay? To tell them what will befall them for their disobedience and coming to this earth and disobeying the Most High. Enoch had a testimony according to the Bible. Right? Now, you may ask, well, why is this important? Yeshua, or whom some say his name is Jesus, even though there was no J's back then, but for the sake of edifying, Jesus said, like in the days of Noah, then shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Well, how would you know the signs of Christ is coming if you don't know in specific what was going on in the days of Noah? See? So they purposely hid Enoch's teachings and put out some false Enoch records also to try to sully the original book of Enoch. So that now people are go through all the different books and say, this contradicts this, which Enoch is right. There's only one book of Enoch that's translated directly from the Qumran caves. And that's the book that was translated by R.H. Charles, which what? Wasn't his own words. He just translated what was found in the caves from its original language into our language, English. Let's go to the book of Enoch real quick. 54, 1 and 6. And all what I'm reading here fits flawlessly in precept with the Bible. Mm-hmm. Flawlessly. Let's read it. Enoch 54, 1 through 6. Let's go.
The book of Enoch, chapter 54, verse 1. And I looked and turned to another part of the earth, and saw there a deep valley with burning fire. And they brought the kings and the mighty, and began to cast them into this deep valley. And there mine eyes saw how they made their instruments, their instruments, iron chains of immeasurable weight. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, for whom are these chains being prepared?
So Enoch seen, the Most High showed him hell when he was translated. And he says, well, who are these chains being prepared for? Before the Most High. He says, who are these chains being prepared for? Don't forget, the Bible tells us in the book of Jude, right, that they're being prepared, right, being held in darkness and hell, right? It tell you in the book of Revelations 20 that a great angel came down and bound Satan with chains for 1,000 years. The first angel that led the revolt in the heavenly realm by the name of Lucifer. Okay? Go on.
If you don't mind, I'll read verse 6 again in Jude.
Yes, read it.
And the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he have reserved in everlasting chains.
In everlasting chains. Now, when you go into Enoch, it's now going into specific the angels that were bound in the beginning in chains. Okay. Now, of course, the Gentiles have made these fallen angels into what? Angels or gods to be reverenced, or legends. They've made legends of these people, of these fallen angels in the earth, right? Who were kings over the earth during that time. Like, for instance, a lot of you heard of the Egyptian Osiris, right? Now, you know, all in the pyramids, there's archaeological proof of man giving substance to giants sitting on thrones. That's all in the pyramids. Okay. Well, Osiris is the angel that's bound in the desert Dudael. Okay. The Great Pyramids are actually steps or doorways into the hell region. Even the Egyptians knows this. And who's bound under a jagged rock under the Great Pyramid? Osiris. Enoch identify his original name, not his Egyptian name, but his original name is what? Azazel. That's Osiris. The Egyptian god Osiris is the angel that was bound, who they ascribe to all the knowledge that they have received. Because when they came down, they taught these angels, these fallen ones, taught mankind warfare, all of that. Technology, all of this came through them. See? All of this, even war, came through them. Not teaching people to live in harmony, but how to take advantage and hurt others and enslave others. Okay? These are the things the angels taught. So when you hear of Osiris in Egypt, go to Enoch and read about Azazel. That's who he was. That's his fallen. He was a fallen angel who fell to this earth and became the Egyptian god Osiris. But his name is Azazel. Okay? Come on.
Enoch 54 verse 3.
Yes.
And there mine eyes saw how they made these instruments, iron chains of immeasurable weight. And I asked the angel of peace who went with me, for whom are these chains being prepared?
Come on.
Verse 5. And he said unto me, these are being prepared for the host of Azazel, so that all they that take them and cast them into the abyss of complete condemnation, and they shall cover their jaws with rough stones, as the Lord of spirits commanded. And Michael and Gabriel and Raphael and Phanuel shall take hold of them on that great day and cast them on that day into the burning furnace, that the Lord of spirits may take vengeance on them for their unrighteousness and becoming subject to Satan and leading astray those who dwell on the earth.
And leading astray those that what?
That dwell on the earth.
That dwell on the earth. So there's a judgment for them deceiving mankind by giving mankind what? Certain knowledge. But the knowledge was given to us so that we could destroy ourselves. It's good at first because it seems like it's benefiting us. But at the end of the day, the knowledge was used to kill off mankind, to have it where we fight against each other and war against each other and hate each other. The technology seems good because we're using it, but look at what it's doing to us. See? It's desocializing us. It's making us where we don't even care about God's people, our own, God's creation. Right? So they were bound. There was a judgment. So I don't got to ask questions about who built the pyramids and this, that, and the other. Nah, I know who built the pyramids. Okay? The book of Enoch tell you who did it and why they were built. And there's a time stamp of judgment based on a 364-day cycle in the Great Pyramid Sphinx. Okay? Give you a timeline in the Great Pyramid. And the timeline, even have the timeline of Christ's birth, Moses given the law. Everything you read in Enoch is actually a time stamp within the pyramid itself. Because why? There was a timeline on the angels that were bound for their disobedience. And it was written in the hieroglyphics. Okay? There's a timestamp throughout. And not only that, there's even proof that the pyramids were pre-flood because they show you areas where the water receded off of it. So when they claim that the Israelites built certain pyramids and all that, Israelites were building certain cities outside of the Great Pyramid Sphinx. But there's nowhere in the Bible does it tell you that Israelites built the pyramid. Okay? The pyramids were built by who they call gods. We're telling you the purposes of why they were built, the jagged rocks. They're like sundials. Why? Because it's a time stamp. It's actually a time of judgment on those that went against the Lord our God. Okay? Mankind could not have built anything like that. And how do we know this? We have greater tools and technology now in this earth today than thousands of years ago. And no one today can build a pyramid. With all the great technology we claim to have in this earth, no one can build one. Why? Because man didn't build it. We're telling you why it was built, brothers and sisters. It's a judgment. It's a gate to hell. Okay? It's 4 regions in the earth that leads to this place. Okay? We're going to go into it. So when we pass over, when we're no longer subject to this physical realm and we're in the hands of the Most High, guess what? We have to go through a gate or go through a place spiritually to be judged. We have to go to a region to be judged based on whether or not we were righteous and did the right things according to the Most High, or whether or not we scorned the Most High or ignored his law. Either way, the region's there for judgment. Okay? So there's no surprise when you look at ancient legends of the Romans and others, they would say, well, listen, you know, when they would die or have funerals and they would bury the dead, they would say, well, listen, put coins over their eyes so that they can walk in the underworld with their fathers. They were preparing themselves to go into the underworld with their fathers, knowing their bloodline was connected to the fallen ones. It's not mythology, brothers and sisters. Guess what? Fiction is truer than life. The life they gave us is an alternate reality. Everything else that they claim is myth is really what's going on. They created these cities and gave us television and did what? Placed us in an alternate reality so that we would think that this life we're living and how we're living is the true life.